Yesterday, Michigan voters went to the polls to vote in the presidential primary election. Here in Isabella County, voters had the chance to vote on a millage and a bond proposal. Now, both of those proposals failed, but let's take a look at the big board to walk through the results. Let's start off by looking at the Isabella County General Operating Millage proposal. So if you see here, it failed by more than 6,000 votes. So if we look at the amount of people who voted total, about 40,000 people were registered to vote, but only 13,000 people voted. This is less than 35% of the population. Now, if we turn to the Community Aquatic Center bond proposal, this one failed by less than 1,000 votes. So yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak with Norma Bailey, who is the chairperson for precinct number 3 here in Mount Pleasant. She emphasized the importance of voting in these local community elections, and truly, this really shows how important this is. Now, so I was at precinct 3 and I spoke with voters on what they thought about the bond, and I had an overwhelming number of responses telling me yes, they support it. So if you take a look at the results specifically here in precinct 3, 339 people voted yes and 329 people voted no. This is only 10%, or 10, I'm sorry, excuse me. This is only 10 people who voted no on this bond. So if only in precinct 3, it would have passed. The reason for why it didn't pass is quite simple, actually. The Aquatic Center would have been located in Mount Pleasant if the bond passed. However, voters around Isabella County would have had to fund the bond for the pool that they would have had a difficult time driving to. But this is why it's important to vote in these small and local elections. So if we turn things nationally, Democratic presidential primary, incumbent President Joe Biden won with 81% of the vote across the state of Michigan. Interestingly enough, voting uncommitted began as a protest against Joe Biden and the war in Gaza in Dearborn, Michigan. As many as 3 out of 4 Arab Americans in Dearborn cast a vote for uncommitted as a way to protest the war. Finally, if we look at the Republican primary here in Michigan, Donald Trump took over the victory, beating Nikki Haley with 68% of the vote and gaining 12 delegates. Now, Nikki Haley won with 26% of the vote, gaining 4 delegates. As Haley has said in the past, she will not be dropping out of the race until at least Super Tuesday, which will take place next week on March 5th. If we take a look at the national map, these are all of the states that President Trump has already won. So he won delegates in Michigan, in South Carolina, Nikki Haley's home state, in New Hampshire, and even in Nevada. So currently, Donald Trump has 122 delegates and Haley has just 24. And then if we look over here, all of these states are the states that are going to be voting on Super Tuesday in the GOP primary. So it's possible for Trump and Haley to earn up to 874 delegates out of 2,400 up for grabs for the Republican primary. Over the next few weeks, we will keep you updated on the election. I'm Ella Pierzecki, News Central.